Talk to me. All right, Seth, I'm here.
Alrighty, I will hand over host controls right now.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Sorry about the confusion.
Not a problem at all.
How you doing, Rob? Can you hear me, Rob?
Oh, yeah, everybody's coming back now.
Yeah. We're all coming back in.
Oh, we should pull up the, there's that. Good morning, there's that, there's this, there's this. And there's my tonight there. And oh, open up there. There. All right, raise your hand if you took a nap.
I did
Raise
not.
your hand. Did everybody take a nap? Everybody took a nice kindergarten nap? Yes? No?
No.
If I had fallen asleep at this time of night, Rob, you would have seen me at about 5 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Exactly.
I got stuck doing chores.
One of the downfalls of meeting in Zoom. You're actually home.
I will confess I had ice cream.
Hey, that works. That works. It actually gave me more of an opportunity to go into everything that she attached, that Alana attached, way more in depth than I had. So silver lining. I'll call that the silver lining. T-10. And with that, I have 7:30. So going back to the agenda for 7:30 p.m. Open meeting vote required. Instructions on remote participating. And so we got that. And 7:30 rules of procedure.
Motion
What do you got for a motion?
to continue the discussion of the rules and regulations and procedures.
Sounds good to me. I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll
Second.
second it.
I'm giving it to Mr. Baker Jr. So we got roll call, Mr. Baker Sr.
Yes,
Myself is a yes, Mr. Tanzi,
Yes.
Mr. Galley,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Jr.
Yes.
All right, gentlemen. Where does everybody have it up on their screen or however you're looking at it so we can remember where we left off?
she put the thing in, get to the page here.
Whoa.
We left off at page 5.
We got page 5, kind of midway
Yeah.
down.
Says continue review on July 14th.
Yep. Everybody there?
There we
Everybody
go.
got it?
Thank you, Bob.
Rob, there was a couple
Yep.
of things that she highlighted in yellow before this that she thought we might have to anything highlighted in yellow has not been edited and will be discussed again.
Okay. Do we want to do all that first, or do we want to try to get through the end of it? Because we're gonna be going over this a million times anyway. So it's up to you guys.
No,
Whatever
that's fine.
however you
Yeah,
wanna
we
do
can
it.
get it all and she can edit it and then,
At least
Let-
get, at least
then we
go
can-
through the whole thing and just that's one run through on the whole thing and then go back and pick it apart as we usually do. Does that make sense?
yep,
All right. So getting back to page 5, I think it doesn't get too hard from here down. They also require from the petition such other plans, add at the petitioner's expense. That makes absolutely 100% sense.
yes.
Everybody good there?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
The next one, the requirements described may be waived with the concurrence of the chair and the secretary of the board. Somebody had said majority of the board. Here's the issue. We can't have a majority of the board discussion without a public meeting.
Without it,
So typically what this ends up being is they're trying to do this before the public hearing. So in the end, if for some reason the applicant's representative, the applicant's attorney, whatever, if they want to try to get it waived, well, typically it would be you would need two people on the board to kind of make that work. I would say chair and vice chair. If the chair and vice chair concur that it's not necessary to have a full-blown site plan or architectural plans or something like that. If and it has to be an absolute no-brainer.
right,
It has to be there can't be any hesitation whatsoever. If it's an absolute no-brainer, I would say that the chair and the vice chair, as long as they agree, they can waive some sort, if the a piece of the site plan, if the something in the site plan regulations, the need for a site plan. Trying to remember. There was one.
the number of copies and all that stuff too,
Yeah. See, that's the other thing. If they want to waive copies or something like that. Again, I think that should be something that's waivable by, again, chair and vice chair.
so we would just have to change secretary to vice chair.
Yeah, and if that's okay by everybody else.
Fine with me.
Should we put something in there? One or the other is not available.
One of the three, instead
Well,
one
this
of
would
the
be,
three officers. Okay, so here we go. The requirement described in section 1D above or any part of it may be waived with the concurrence of two of the three officers.
Okay,
Does that work?
yes,
All right.
Yeah, gives flexibility.
Any material required of the petitioner as well as any information material requested by the board shall be submitted to the board not less than 5 full business days prior to the date on which the matter is scheduled to be heard by the board. Any cost incurred by the failure on the part of the petitioner to meet these requirements, including but not limited to advertising costs, shall be borne by the petitioner. The provisions of this subsection G may be waived by the board at its sole discretion. First and foremost, who wrote that?
I did.
I believe it was Bob Jr.
That's perfect. I love it. But since we talked about the subsection F above, may be waived per. Yeah, the provisions of this subsection may be waived per subsection F above.
I think it should be a vote of the board to waive any. anything like that.
Any material requested by the petition, wait a second, required of the petitioner, as well as any information material requested by the board shall be submitted to any costs incurred by the failure on the part of the petitioner to meet these requirements, including but not limited to advertising costs, shall be borne by the petitioner. The provisions of this subsection may be waived. I think the provisions of this subsection, that's what we're looking at. The provisions of this subsection, meaning if they can't get it to us 5 full days prior. If
Right,
for some
if
reason
they
they can only
can't-
get it to,
If they can't do that on something that's already been scheduled for a hearing, it would be up to the board whether to accept that for that hearing or to refuse to accept it. And, well, it would actually, the rule would institute a refusal to accept it. The board could change its position and allow it. But if a majority of the board votes not to, then it would get kicked over to the next meeting, whenever that might be, and any.
it would have to be yeah, it would have to be
Yeah,
continued.
right. We'd have to make a motion to continue the public hearing due to lack of information,
Unless
unless we waive it.
we waive it, and that would have to be a decision made at the hearing.
Right.
Right,
Okay.
not something that could be made ahead by 2 of the 3 officers.
Yeah, no, I didn't know. I agree with that.
No.
I agree with that 100%. At first I was thinking, but typically I'm looking at this going, okay, so 5 full business days, we're cool with that. I mean, that makes sense. But in the end, sometimes
Yeah.
it didn't work. And the surveyor couldn't get there, or the engineer was on vacation, or something like that. So if that 5 full days was 3 full days, don't ask.
Or even less if the petitioner has a reasonable explanation why, through no fault of their own,
Mhm.
they couldn't comply. What I'm trying to avoid, and it seems to be creeping in the time that I've been on the board.
Yep.
Now we're getting things an hour before the hearing is going to start.
I hear you.
Yeah, and it's never small stuff. It's always stuff that we won't have time to study and take into consideration. So,
No, I agree with you. The provisions of the subject may be waived by the board at its sole discretion. No changes. I'm on board with it 100%.
Okay.
Upon notification by the town clerk of a petition. Now this almost 100% has to change. Because that's not the procedure anymore. And this is something that Alana is going to have to kind of weigh in on. This procedure has been changed 100% because the problem that they were having, and one of the things, because we see it in the application. I think it said it in the rules someplace. I remember seeing it in the rules someplace. The incomplete applications will not be accepted. All right.
Right.
Here's the problem.
Town clerk doesn't know what the completed is.
Exactly. And that's always been a problem. And the thing is, and everybody will know this, the second it gets stamped in, that's when the ticker starts. The second it gets stamped in. So,
Why can't we replace it with secretary with land use council, land use coordinators?
on notification by the, I would like to hear how I remember how Candy was doing it. I remember how Kim was doing it. I remember how Deb was doing it. I'd like to hear from Arlana on this, what her procedure is, because she seems to have a very good procedure. All right. I appreciate everything that she's doing, and I'd like her to weigh in there, because in the end, upon notification by the town clerk, that's not happening. Proper form, the secretary. Okay. Upon notification by, and what did she use before? She used planning department staff.
Yes, that was in here somewhere.
Does everybody remember her saying that in the second email? She
Yeah.
changed something to
Yes.
planning department staff
Yeah.
here we go. Upon notification by planning department staff of a petition for a public hearing. The petition being in proper form and order. Hold on. Petition being upon notification. No, there's two different people, so that's not going to work. There's two different positions. So it's the upon notification. No. Planning department staff shall notify the chair of a petition for a public hearing, the petition being in proper form and order. Well, then we'll instruct as to the see this again. This is they determine this. This is what I'm saying. The planning department staff determines all that. That's all determined by that's been out of my hands and out of the it's basically been out of the chair's hands
Right,
since Bob Manzilla retired. Because Bob and Candy lived together. So they were communicating zoning, what, 18 hours a day?
right.
That's all they had. That's what they were doing. So
So who is the land use coordinator? Oh, what office is that?
the land use coordinator was technically the position that they created for Deb.
Okay, so is Arlana that?
No.
No.
She
Planning
is
zoning project liaison.
Yeah, liaison, yeah.
so, but again, that's going to change. Somehow, some way, it's going to change. And again,
Yeah.
she had used planning department staff, which
Yeah.
that makes sense because the planning
Yeah.
department, the whole reason why that position, the land use coordinator, got created was because we needed somebody to be able to do all this because nobody's doing it for free. Because someone was doing it for free for way too long, and the board got baby. So, again, when it comes to A, secretary will advise the hearings publicly was printed into B. Notify the board members to stand on for intent to be a public hearing in 48 hours. That's pretty much there. The secretary will notify the petitioner of the planning board, appointed towns, and all other parties of interest and so. Okay.
So who does the town clerk notify
Nobody.
directly?
Nobody.
Okay, so the town clerk gets a petition and they stamp it, and that's when the
Nope.
clock starts.
They get it. They get a petition brought to them by the planning department. That's when the town clerk stamps it in, makes a copy of the entire application, keeps a copy for themselves. Typically, what Deb was doing, and I think Arlana does this too, she takes the entire application, makes a copy of it, brings them both upstairs. One get the first applicant, they both get stamped in. One copy stays with the town clerk. The second copy goes back with Arlana downstairs, which she then PDFs and prints out for whoever needs it. This is why I'm saying the section 2 notification to A, B, C, secretary shall notify to D. The chair of planning board zone enforcement officer shall be considered a party of
E, F,
that.
and G.
Yeah, the whole section of I would like to get Arlana's take on this because that's what she's doing all of that.
Right.
And like I said, I like what she's doing.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not going to tell her how to do it because she already does it well. So I'd like her to review all that,
review all that and give us her thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. Just make it her own. Make it absolutely her own, because however she's going to do it, if it makes sense, it makes sense. So, and that, um, I don't think
Yep.
that really, is everybody cool with that? We'll let Arlana kind of pick that apart.
Yeah, I do have
Yeah.
something to say, Rob.
Yep,
So in every municipality, the town clerk is the official timekeeper.
yep,
So
said that.
when the state statute was written, that's the reason why the petition goes to the um to the clerk, the town
Yep,
clerk.
yep,
I think, well, when I was doing private practice, except for towns like Situate that and a few other towns, generally speaking, you gave the the site the SMITL,
yep.
the application, all that to the town clerk. A good town clerk will know that, all right, I need X amount of plans, I need an application, I need a drainage report,
Nope.
and made
Done.
it.
Done. I'm gonna cut you off right there. That is going way above and beyond what a town clerk should know.
Well,
Sorry.
they would stamp it in, and then they would distribute it to the boards, the appropriate boards. All right. The intent is of the statute is to not have it, the process has to move. It can't just be in limbo for 5 years and hope that the applicant go away.
Here's the
So,
problem, Greg. Here's the problem.
well,
And
no,
we,
let,
and
let me
this
let,
is,
let me
dude,
finish.
dude, I hear where you're going. I absolutely hear where you're going. Here's the problem. We were getting so many incomplete applications. This is why it changed in this town specifically. We were getting so many incomplete applications that it was taking Deb weeks to compile all the information because it got stamped in. The applicant's not doing anything that they're supposed to do, yet the ticker's going. The ticker's going. So somebody's got to get all this information in. Somebody's got to get all this information in. Then it comes to us. All right. It's missing information. This happened at least 3 or 4 times that I remember. So we had to continue 2 and 3 times until we actually got the information. It's not happening. That's it. I know, and we've talked about this, why the statute was written and why everything is, why it's the town clerk is the timekeeper. We all understand this and we all know this. But the problem is that people were doing this specifically. They were going behind the backs of the people that actually have to put all this stuff together because they knew that that's when it all started. That's the problem. That is the major problem. Planning board doesn't allow that. Conservation Commission doesn't allow that. I understand the statute. I know why. But the thing is that we deserve better. We deserve a complete application in our hands, everyone, once it's all put together. All right. And the only way for the application to come into us complete is to have planning department staff look at it and review it.
Okay, so an incomplete submittal is made.
Yeah.
It's reviewed by the planning board. The or planning board staff, I should say, the staff.
Planning
Planning
department staff.
department staff, correct. It's
So you're saying
deficient.
that it was stamped in by the town clerk?
No. Let's say it goes to the planning department staff first.
All right, the current, so that the
So
current,
the
current way we
time,
do-
it's not stamped in,
right,
the time hasn't started.
right.
The staff determines it's incomplete.
Yep,
What does the staff do? Contact the applicant and say, hey,
contact. Yep,
take your plans. And this is the, do they tell them that it's incomplete, or do they tell them it's missing X, Y, and Z? And
she gives a list of everything that it's missing.
okay, so they come back, they take the application and the plans, the submittal package, and they make it complete.
Mhm.
Then they resubmit it.
Arlana goes over it again, makes sure everything is there that's supposed to be in there. If it's all good, she calls them and says, all good, I'm taking it up to the town clerk now. And then she goes up to the town clerk, deals with the copies and stuff like that, comes down, application is now stamped in by the town clerk.
All right, quick question.
Yep,
Are we still talking about section 2 notification?
yes,
Okay, because I feel like what you're talking about is a step before notification.
nope,
And I just, because it's notification is petition being in proper form and order means it's already been vetted and it's already been stated. This is complete as far as we can tell. Stamp it and let's notify. And I feel like we're at least as far as this section goes, we are off topic. Because now we're talking about the completeness and the validity of an application.
Mhm.
That's not notification. So I was just want to make sure if this conversation sounds like it really needs to be part of another section. Whether it's all valid, it doesn't seem like it's part of notification.
No, I'm sorry, Steve. You're gonna have to you should relook at the section again
I
because
just
it's
reread
talking-
it. I just reread it.
Dude, don't overtalk me, man. Please.
Yes, yes, sir.
Please.
That's a mutual request, but yes.
You need to reread it because it's talking about 48 hours in advance of hearing, the secretary placed no public hearing. This is all stuff that's done without us.
Where does
That's
it say
what I'm
48
saying.
hours? Okay, section C.
Just pretty much everything in this under notification.
Yeah, but you're talking
Is
about the
done-
quality of the application is what I'm saying. And the notification section is not about the quality of the application. I think we're talking about two subjects under notification. And this is not about the quality of the application. The first part of it is an application that is in proper form and order. That means that it's met the standards that we want in an application. So we're off topic as far as notification goes.
No, I'm sorry, Steve. Upon notification by the town clerk of a petition for a public hearing, that's not where it starts. It doesn't start with the town clerk. It starts with the planning department. The first sentence is completely wrong. The first sentence of under notification under A is not how it works. It's not how we've been doing it. It's not how it needs to go because we've gotten way too many incomplete applications.
Yeah, but I'm not talking. My point is this section is not about incomplete applications. This section is about notification.
Okay, upon notification by the town clerk of a petition for a public hearing. That whole first section is incomplete. So it sounds like section 2, the title of notification should be changed to form of application and
No, it says
something.
the secretary shall notify the chair. Section B, the secretary will advertise. Section C, the secretary will notify. Section D, the secretary will notify. Section E, the secretary shall notify. You know, it's like it's notify. It's not about the quality of the application. So
Okay, then the section note of the word notification needs to be changed because all of that stuff is done without any of us even looking at it. Although,
all right, I'm gonna take myself out of this conversation because you and I are both speaking English and we're not speaking the same language. So I'm stopping and pretend I'm not here in the room for this moment and continue your conversation because I think we are off topic as far as notification goes, and I'm stating that out loud, and that's as far as I'm going to go with it. But
all right,
thank
and
you.
I
I don't want to presume, but I think I know the point that Steve's making.
Mhm.
And Steve, correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Is there anything in these rules and regulations that says when somebody wants to bring in a petition for whatever it is, where is it presented? To whom is it presented?
That's where I'm going with this. All right.
Right, so
That
so
actually
there's
was
nothing,
that is an open question in my mind. I don't remember the whole rules and procedure. I'm looking at my feet as I'm walking right here. I'm looking at the words in front of us. And the words in front of us are about notification, not about the actual application. So, right, I agree. I agree. That's actually part of my question. What part of the rules talk about proper application?
Yeah, where it
Start.
goes first.
because it would seem to me that there would need to be a step before notification that directs an applicant, one, where to present their application or whatever it is they're presenting, and two, whoever receives it, and what the recipient's duty is to making sure that that application is complete before it gets to the town clerk.
Okay, watch this. Go up to page
4.
go up to page 4, and we're going to take Article 3.
Hang on. Page 4.
You got form of applicant, form of petition, or the design of a public hearing shall be
Yeah.
described by the board of town clerk in person. Yeah, shall be accompanied by all of that. Da, 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 each other. Da, 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 da.
Yeah,
Board
Section 1, form of petition is all about the quality of the application.
No, it's what's supposed to be in the application, but it doesn't talk about who actually reviews the application and who determines whether the application is complete.
All right,
That's
And
what's
nothing,
missing.
and nothing in notification discussed that in the past. So it sounds like there should be a step in between form of petition and review before notification. Sounds like we actually need something wedged in between there then.
All right, so
Because
it's
it
going to
is
be notification. Is it a full set? Steve? Is it a full section number, or is it a subsection number, like a subsection letter?
Oh, you're talking about what I say as far as a review of the application?
Well, that's kind of where I was going, because that's exactly what's missing. That's
Right.
what's
Well,
missing.
I mean, yeah, I suppose you could renumber that number 2 and make notification 3 and so forth. I mean, if you want a review of the application between, but I mean, section 1 tells you what they're supposed to do for the application, for the petition.
But that doesn't,
Yep.
that says what we want in the application.
Right. Right.
Okay,
So I
that's
mean,
all that's doing. And
yeah,
remember, here's the thing. Remember, the applicant doesn't see these. The applicant doesn't see this. All they see is the application. So in here, there has to be a section of, because if you look at the application, I don't have that on me, but I'm pretty sure in the application it does talk about review by planning department staff. So that should actually be put in as well.
yeah. It sounds like it should be another section, a separate section from notification.
Let me ask, would something like
Article-
this, with looking at Article 3, Section 1A.
Yep.
Any person desiring a hearing before the board shall petition the board for a public hearing, and then something like this, comma, by presenting same to whatever Alana's title is.
Planning department staff. That was her, again, that's her suggestion.
Right. Or
Yeah,
planning,
I think that I mean, I agree with that, Bob. I mean, I was thinking along the same terms, and even section 1 and section 2, their titles are a little bit, I think they're misleading. They're a little bit askew. I mean, form of petition. I mean, this is, it should be submission of a petition to be heard
Submission
before the
requirement,
board, or
basically.
submission requirements, and it's really the process.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because it doesn't really we're not getting into the requirement. The requirement is, you have to have a site plan that, you have to have X amount of copies, you gotta have the application form, you gotta have this, you
Yep,
gotta have
that's in
butter
D.
notifications, all
Yeah.
that stuff. But that's not in this section. That's in a different section.
Well, you can, whether you're dealing with statutes or rules and regulations, you can have a section or an article heading that contains things that are not necessarily, what's the word I'm looking for? Encompassed by the heading, but are
Mhm.
related to the purpose of the heading.
Hmm. And I think our headings are a little bit off. Yeah, I don't think our headings are meeting that criteria. I mean, when I hear of notification, the first thing that comes to me, if I was a petitioner, is, all right, who do I notify? Oh, I notify the abutters. But this notification in here, this is all internal workings within the
Yeah.
town, you know? Upon notification by the town clerk of a petition for a public hearing, the petition being in proper form and order, the secretary shall notify the chair. See, this isn't the applicant doing any of this notification. This is going on by us, the town, behind the scenes. Once
Mhm.
um, that filing has been submitted to the town for a public hearing. You see what I'm saying, Rob?
Yeah. Yeah,
You
no,
see how like
absolutely.
notifications, in my opinion, it kind of doesn't fit.
If you took because it's Article 3 and just added something at petitions, uh, submission, staff review, and notification for hearings. If you inquire, it's just the staff review, it's definitely missing staff review. It's definitely missing staff review. That's the thing that's the thing that I think Steve and I were missing between the two of us.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree. This section 2, this is all staff reviewing and staff, making sure it's okay, and then
mhm.
staff distributing or notifying.
Public notice printed
the
in newspaper, blah, 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 blah. Secretary will notify the board members, blah, blah. The secretary will notify the petitioner, blah, blah, blah. There are definitely some notification and there's notifications. It's talking about everybody's being notified, this, that, the other thing, but it's still under notification. That's everything that's in there is that's Arlana's job. That's not Arlana's job, but it's a portion of what Arlana does. Every single thing in there, including the review of the application. Um, I've been doing all the review for the plans to make sure that they're 100% ready for us. I still have no problem. I still have no problem doing that. That's it's all
but
it's
but
almost
he, yeah, but even here, A, it says upon notification by the town clerk of a petition for a public hearing, the petition being in proper form and order. It right there, it sounds like the town clerk is is notifying, has made the decision that it's in proper form and order, and is notifying the secretary, who
hmm
will notify the chair,
hmm
will instruct the secretary as to the date of the public hearing.
This has been changed. This was changed since Donna Shortall. Donna Shortall, when she was town clerk, she basically said that how do I know when an application's complete? I don't know what's supposed to go on. I don't know what's supposed to go on an application. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
That's when Candy turned around and said, all right, You know, this is part of it's all the stuff in here. This is part of the reason why Candy DiRenzo was basically took over all of it because no one wanted to take responsibility for any of it.
Hmm.
So,
But it was never, the process was never codified
of course not.
in,
course
huh?
Of course not.
Now, in a perfect world, we could say something like, on notification by the town clerk of petition of a public hearing, the petition being in proper form and order as determined by the planning zoning project liaison. However, since she doesn't work for us, we can't really direct her to do anything.
That's why I think that's why that she keeps talking about, or she said, or she made the suggestion of instead of secretary, planning department staff.
But we can't direct the planning department staff to do anything either.
I hear you.
I think, and she may have some insight. I'm sure she has some insight that I'm not aware of.
This is why this whole section confuses the heck out of me. All right.
I think we need to, as you suggested earlier, Rob, I think we need to bring
I've been waiting to say what Mr. Baker Jr. just said. I agree with you, Rob. Mr. Baker Jr., we need to get Arlana to tell us what they do for us to codify it.
It's really the only way. It's really the only way. And the thing is that we still can't, technically in these rules, we still can't tell a municipal employee what to do.
Right.
So this is where it gets interesting. Now, watch this. Did everybody look at the Hingham rules and regs?
No.
No.
Okay. You should, because Hingham has a planning department. They have that's who does all this. That's who does all their work.
They have a town planner.
They have a town planner. Powers and duties, meetings and hearings. All meetings, hearings shall be open to the public with notice thereof posted permanently. Okay. Ha. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Hold on. There's the share the screen. There's why is that open? This
Okay, so
share. Can you guys see this?
Not yet.
Yeah.
It's on. There we go.
Cool.
All right. This is Hingham.
Can you
And
enlarge that a bit, Rob?
yep.
Please.
Where's my plus? One more, or are you good?
If you can do a little bit more, thank you.
Okay. So powers and duties of the Board of Appeals Administrator. I think that's Arlana. I think that's what Arlana would end up being. I don't know. But the board may appoint an administrator to represent and act for the board with members of the public and other town boards in accordance with the general policies and directions established by the board members. The administrator will provide zoning bylaw interpretation and research, will fulfill all administrative aspects of maintaining a board of appeals and zoning office at the town office building, and will monitor compliance with and satisfaction of all decisions of the board. The administrator shall supervise the daily work of the Board of Appeals administrative. Let's skip that for now.
yeah,
Yeah, let's skip that. Okay. Board of Appeals administrative assistant. But again, may hire an administrator to carry out the clerk of the board, including the board's compilation, maintenance, preparation of the board may hire. I don't believe this is how that works over there. All right. But meetings and hearings of the board, all meetings and hearings shall be open to the public. The quorum of the panel shall consist of approved forms. Every appeal petition on the approved forms are incorporated into these rules and attached here. All of the communication, whether or not it's manner of filing. One copy of the complete application shall be filed with the town clerk. That's it. It just says one copy of duplicate copies of the complete application shall be filed with the Board of Appeals as directed by the board's administrator. Administrator will circulate the application to the appropriate town boards and the application shall include all items listed in 1 through 8 and for which a waiver has not been granted. We were talking about that. Submission requirements. See, again, it's saying a lot of the same things, but it isn't talking about. It isn't taught. It doesn't specifically say. It doesn't specifically talk about the review. But I know that review goes on. I know it happens. I know it happens 100%.
I agree with Steve and Mr. Baker Jr. that we should, move on and
Oh yeah,
talk to Alanda on this.
yeah.
Get her input,
It's.
because I think we're just gonna go around in circles.
No, we have been.
Right now.
So we all agree with it. We all agree that Arlana needs to voice her
Yeah.
thing. Article 4, rules and procedures for public hearings. I think we all said this, that the numbers need to be just reorganized. I was looking at, I think it was 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, 6, 7. Do it again. 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, 6, 7.
I'm sorry, Rob, what are you referencing right now?
Yeah,
When it goes- when it goes
Article
to-
4, rules and
Yeah,
procedures.
Article 4, Section 1, hearing rules and procedures. A
Okay,
hearing will proceed in the following order. 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, 6, 7.
Yes, just switch 3 to 4, 3 and
Mhm.
4. Should be the board members first, and then anybody in favor,
Mm-hmm.
and then anybody opposed. So I
Yeah,
think
because that's how we've
I-
been running it basically, so, and it
That's
makes
it.
sense.
That's
And it
that's
makes
how I've been doing it
sense.
since. That's how we've been doing it since I've got
Right.
on the board in 2010. So,
yeah. So 4 becomes 3,
mhm.
3 becomes 4.
Yeah.
5 stays the same.
Yeah.
6 stays the same. All right,
7, yeah,
yeah, 2 of those got transposed, that's all. But
No, that's fine.
that's a good that's a good catch, because they do need to be fixed.
Mm. All right, so does everybody agree there? So like basically 3 and 4 just need to be flipped?
Yeah,
Yes, everybody?
yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Got
we
a quick
did
question
that.
though. We do it this way, but do you have to add a thing to number 4 saying members can ask questions, later because it's out of order at that point? I mean,
That's what
do we have
I-
to codify that?
I think that would be under 6, general
Yeah,
discussion.
Yeah.
that's what I was that's what I was trying to say. No,
Okay. All right. That's right, because it's not closed. Okay, gotcha.
Right,
Thank you. Good. Thank you.
No problem.
Items should be changed to comport for our current practice. We said that. Reorder procedures. 6, cover the idea members may ask questions. Yes, we already said that. Language regarding closure of the hearing should be phrased along the lines of the public hearing will be declared closed upon the passage of a motion to do so. I like that.
wait a minute, D, we should take out stenographer. To be recorded by,
Where are you? I haven't even gotten past the number 7 yet. The
oh,
language
okay,
of the closure of the
keep
hearing.
going.
I think Mr. Baker Jr., you were the one that I'm assuming this is your language. So I'm
It is.
assuming okay. The public hearing will be declared closed upon the passage of a motion to do so. I like it. So change 7 to what Bob has there. Associate members of the board shall enjoy all hearing, associate members of the board shall enjoy all hearing privileges.
That was also my question that followed that, because I have no
Yeah.
idea what that means.
Yeah, that's not the shall enjoy all hearing privileges other than voting
Yes,
unless chosen to do so.
Yep, boom, there you go.
Okay.
that sounds,
Yeah, I didn't really understand that either, but I mean,
mhm.
I mean, it
Alright.
means they can ask questions, make comments.
Yep.
And getting part of the general discussion, right? That's the understanding.
yeah, but all hearing privileges, all yeah, that assumes voting too. When I say
Well, if you
when-
put except voting unless designated to do so as replacing a
exactly.
regular member of the board.
I think it
Alright.
also says that somewhere in here too, that they have all the rights of a voting member except for voting unless otherwise appointed.
Yep, that was it. Yep, that was further up.
Yeah.
Chair may at his discretion conduct any hearing under oath. Now, I don't know what this is. May at his discretion conduct any hearing under oath. He shall determine the form of said oath to be administered and to whom it shall be administered.
Now, on that provision, I had originally written in a question, and I don't know where it went. Just asking, under what authority does the chair have to administer oaths?
I have no idea what this has had to do with anything.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no clue. I think this is one of those things that I need to get to Galvin to see what he's thinking it means. Which I did also. I said that there was a couple things that we wanted Galvin to comment on. I did forward them to him. Easily a week and a half ago. I haven't heard back from him. So I'm trying. I'm trying on that end.
I think
If I'm good,
that's
if
up
I'm
to
good,
the town attorney to give us some kind of information that,
yeah, this letter C, I
You're
have
not
no
a-
idea what this
yeah,
is.
you're not a judge, you're not a police officer or anything that you
Right.
swear under oath.
Right. So I have no idea. I have no idea what that means. I'd like to get some sort of something from Galvin to tell us what that means. So I'm gonna push on past that. The chair shall cause to be recorded by the stenographer the names of all council appearing. See again, this is D. This is what planning board staff is doing right now. Designed to address the board. Okay.
Should we change on D, should we change stenographer to video or audio recording? Because
Yeah.
even if we're live in person, it's still recorded.
That's covered under state law.
Right. But it says the chair shall cause to be recorded by,
No, it's not. We're not talking the word. We're not talking making a recording. The chair shall cause to be recorded, meaning shall ask the stenographer to take down the names of all council appearing.
oh, okay,
So it's again, she's already doing that. That D is probably something that can be added to. Again, it's almost like we have to designate. It's almost like we have to designate jobs that we want planning department staff to be
Right.
responsible for.
but
And
then we
I
could
think
get
at
into,
some point, if that's our intent with the number of functions, we're not the ones who can do that. I'm assuming that would be between the select board, the town administrator, and HR.
that's what I was gonna say. That's a
This is-
contractual thing.
Exactly. This is why the secretary and the stenographer, the stenographer was the she's the one that takes the minutes. All right. The
Right.
stenographer was the one that always took the minutes. The secretary was always a member of the board. And that's why the secretary had the power that that position, entailed, or, total along with it. I like this E, any person desiring to address the board must first be recognized by the chair. I think we've been doing that, or we've been trying to do that
Yep.
since day one.
Yep.
After the conclusion of a hearing, any member may, upon request, after the conclusion of a hearing, any member may, upon request, inform the petitioner of the decision of the board, it being understood that such information is subject to confirmation in writing of the full decision to be mailed to the petitioner and filed with the town clerk. We said change.
Mm,
And I don't remember why we said change, because as far as I can see, the way that it's written, let's just say if Steve wants to call the applicant and tell them.
Hmm.
I don't have a problem with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with that, as long as upon request, as long as, let's again, just using your name, Steve,
Yeah.
as long as
Right, right.
Steve at the, during, once everything was made, said, guys, do you mind if I call the applicant? I'd like
Yeah.
to let them know personally, da, 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 da.
Because
And
they don't actually need to attend when we're making the decision.
Right,
And you're often saying, "Oh, by the way, congratulations or welcome to Rockland."
right.
And that's just an informal process that you're doing. Then you're
Mhm.
not officially, that's not generally a formal part of the process. So
I
yeah,
don't
that makes
mind that.
sense. That seems like, yeah, you're doing the same thing. And you always say date, type, stamp, go to the town clerk, go to the registry of deeds, all that stuff, all that,
Yeah, I honestly, I don't mind that. I know the first two lines, going to G, the first two, upon the board arriving at its decision on the petition, the chair shall inform the petitioner of the decision.
I don't think you have to call everyone. If the petitioner says, hey, can you
yeah.
drop me an email or, give me a call
Yeah.
in the morning and let me know so I can start.
Or you could say the chair or other member on request
Mm,
may inform.
The
For
chair
whatever
or
reason,
his
like you
designee.
said, if someone else, whatever, wanted to tell them. I mean, we don't need to, right? But I mean, if we just wanted to,
yeah, I don't see that. I mean, honestly, I don't see that being a problem. As it's written, I don't see a problem with that.
it
You
doesn't
know,
require us to tell them.
no.
No,
And it's just like, what if one of us wants to be the person who hears some cheer on the other end of the phone?
So again, and then I see G, Mr. Baker Jr. Where did you want that? Did you want that to substitute the after the conclusion of the hearing upon request inform? Is that what you were going after?
I don't know, because where I say the first two lines change, but it looks like it's replacing an entire subsection.
Would you be okay with just getting rid of G as it's written and just leave F as it's written? Because again, the light blue is your
Yeah,
language.
it is. The only thing is, in looking at F, it doesn't say that in the normal course, absent another member's request to do so, the chair is the one who informs the petitioner.
well, I think the on request means the petitioner. Yeah,
See, the thing is, after the conclusion of the hearing, any member may, upon request, inform the petitioner of the decision of the board. Just stop it there. Just put a period in place of the
But
comma.
in the absence of such request, who does the informing?
Nobody.
So the
if
petitioner doesn't
they
get informed of the decision?
Nope. Not
No.
until they get it in the mail.
Oh, okay.
Typically, if they're
Then-
not, again, if they left if they took off, if they weren't there to, listen to listen to the discussion in the end. I think in the past, I know I've asked Deb, can you call them and just let them know? Or can you shoot them an email? I think I've asked Arlana to do that. Arlana, can you just shoot them an email and let them know?
You also
Well-
usually say that the decision will be filed within 3 or 4 days, and you can, well, the petitioner could go to the town clerk once it's stamped, because it's a public document by then, and they can get it to see what the decision was too.
Yeah. Yeah, but see, the thing is that it may be done. What do they have? They have 14 days. I think
Right.
they have 14 days
To file
record
the
the decision, to file the decision. It could be done quicker than that.
Right.
Rob,
So-
you know, and my question was apparently based on a misunderstanding of the intent of F, so just ignore that blue stuff there.
All right, so G, we're gonna leave G out. Yeah, we're gonna take everything of G out. If everybody's okay with letter F, because it's not requiring anybody to do so, but if Greg wants to call the applicant the next day and congratulate them and welcome to Rockland and stuff like that, I don't see a problem with that.
I don't see a problem.
All
Yeah,
right, so everybody's cool with that, so we'll leave F
Yeah.
as it is. G we'll get rid of. Section 2, stenographer will be present in all hearings, place with me, place for do. Again, we can technically still hire a stenographer because that was coming out of our budget.
Right.
We can technically still do that. It would end up taking a portion of Arlana's job away. And I don't know if her position is getting supplemented by our
We talked
budgetary.
about that. We talked about that a couple of meetings ago too.
So
Is that our budget still the $5,400?
I think so. I'd like to talk to somebody about that. And again, if Arlana's going to be listening to this, so
Because if they took her salary out of that $5,400 and only give us our sundries, then they're using that money to pay her.
that's my point.
Uh,
So that's where I'd like to, before we start talking about stenographer and we can do this,
Right.
even
And
though
delete, no.
chapter
Yeah.
48, I don't remember what section it is, but chapter 48 does say that the zoning board can hire stenographers.
Yes.
That's state zoning. So that's technically where this comes from. So I'd like to talk to people before we do this.
My preference, just on the assumption that that money is going to supplement Alana's compensation based on what she does for us,
Yep.
is that it stays that way.
I hear
As long
you.
as
Right.
she's agreeable to that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I hear it. I'd like to know budgetary wise, I'd like to know how that is working out.
Mhm.
Because in the end, let's just say that she can't be there for a night. All right. Let's just say she can't be there. Let's just say she can't be there. And somebody else needs to take all the minutes and this, that, the other thing. And let's say that all of a sudden we're not in Zoom anymore. We're sitting in public at the desk, and someone's going to have to pay attention to the meeting, ask questions, vote, and take all the meeting minutes at the same time.
I'll record it.
So So I'd like to, instead of taking this completely and totally out of there, I'd like to just get some feedback from Arlana.
Yep.
Probably human resources and stuff like that, just to figure out how it's all working. Because if that is the case, I'd like to be able to keep this in here for just in case circumstances.
Well, I think Doug should know that answer for if her money's coming out of there,
That's my point. But in the end, let's table this for this end of it. Let's table this for now. Like I said, She's gonna be listening to this. She's gonna know what we're talking about. So maybe she'll be able to, shed some light on it. So that's that. Decisions of the board. This was pretty to chair shall write and file
What about
decisions.
C, Rob, section 2C?
Add in
And
the
in the
absence
absence
of
of the-
all meetings shall be recorded via video and audio means and retained as a permanent record by the town. I don't know if we can require that.
Well, that's
The only-
our rules and procedures.
Right, but
The
who are we,
procedure.
but who are we directing to do that?
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
Directing us to do it.
Well, it's directing us to do it, but then we got to direct somebody else to do it. Unless you're going to show up with a video camera and set it all up, and
We could put a helmet camera on.
let's all wear GoPros. Nice. All meetings shall be recorded. Okay, so in the absence of a stenographer, all meetings shall be recorded via video and audio means and retained as a permanent record by the town. Okay. Worst case. We're meeting at the school in the lecture hall.
Mhm.
And oh yeah, they've got recording capabilities and stuff like that, but we can't require the town to do that. We can't require them to do it. We can ask them to do it, but they can turn around and tell us no.
They can also tell us, oh, we can't use the school.
Right. See, that's my point. That's why this is where I'm getting.
Can we change it to, instead of shall be, we could say it can be or could be? It allows us to do it, doesn't require us to do it.
Well, we already know that we can do that.
I know, but I'm just saying.
See, shall is a very, very specific word.
Yeah, shall
we
means
can-
you do it.
Right.
Yeah,
We
shall
can-
is, we don't have a stenographer, so.
But even if you change it to may, that still doesn't address the question of who's going to do the work.
Well, my
Who's
thinking
gonna
is,
do it?
what if we have the meeting and we have a technical difficulty? The camera doesn't work, and we're like, well, we got to keep the meeting going. Let's have someone
only-
act as a
It's only done by
stenographer.
audio then.
Yeah.
Be careful about that, Steve. You're the secretary.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Or video and or audio.
I like the whole in the absence of a stenographer. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at that, the absence of, and again, my point was all of a sudden we're in, we're in live in-person meeting and our Lana's supposed to be there, but something happens and she can't get there. All right.
What if we said shall be recorded with video and audio or other means?
Who's going to do
Here's,
it?
here's the thing: if say there's no stenographer, Allison's not, Arlana's not there, and a video camera does not work, whatever reason, someone dropped it, cracked the lens, and the microphone fell off. Do we have to cancel the meeting?
I don't think so. Because if we're live in person, it's not, if we're live in person, it's not a requirement to make it a hybrid.
Okay, so we don't have to have someone record it like a stenographer.
No, we have to have somebody to record it specifically for minutes.
Yeah.
And
But it doesn't have to be recorded. It doesn't have to be recorded video or audio for posterity. It doesn't have to be.
Okay, so the bare minimum is minutes.
Yep, that's it.
And if we don't have,
all minutes requires is a person with a pen and a pad of paper.
yep, and they just write bullet points basically,
Mhm.
and it doesn't have to be verbatim. And
not at all.
and like the audio video is like second to second. If we don't have that, we could do minutes. So okay,
Well, put it this way. When I
Yeah,
was
so-
on the cultural council, I was the secretary. I was the recording secretary for the cultural council. I always had our meetings recorded. All right. And we did, for the most part, we probably did like 95% in-person meetings. So I would always go to the WRPS. I talked to Lisa, Seth. I talked to everybody over there and get a camera, a tripod, make sure it, get all the recording equipment, set that all up. I'd do that all, and I'd always bring it back to them. They download it and they put it on the web. So that was that, and specifically because I didn't want to have to sit there and listen to what everybody was saying, write it all down so I could remember and not be able to participate in the meeting. So I always made sure to record that stuff. So because that's available, because that was made available by WRPS. Not every town has that. So when I look at the word shall, I don't like that. So
No.
Right.
again, it's just and when it comes down to you may, we can, that's all within state law. That's all within that's all within open meeting law, that's all within chapter 40A. That's literally on all these TikToks and reels with the First Amendment auditors. It's a public hearing. It's a public meeting. You can record that. You just
Right.
typically, and I think it's again, I can't remember what section of 40A, but it says in there that members of the public can record public meetings as long as they let the chairman know that as long as they let the chairman know that they are going to. So the chair, I know this was open meeting law. This is open meeting law.
Right.
So the chairman can notify everybody that's in there that this meeting is being recorded. So that's already there. That's already within something. It's telling people that they can. And again, it's public. You can record whatever you want. If it's in public, you can record it.
But for open meeting law purposes, all we need to do is to maintain a record of the meeting, and the record of that meeting are the minutes.
Yep.
I don't think we should get into a position of specifying alternative or other means.
Yep.
Because that's just putting us in a position that we may not be able to fulfill.
Exactly. That's I dig that. I absolutely. So I want to wipe C out completely, but again, this is all still talking about Arlana, and we need to hear her. Are we all good? Can we move on?
Rob, what I used to do when I was chairman of the planning board,
Mm-hmm.
we went out and bought a tape recorder.
Mhm.
And I had the secretary tape the meetings. Then she could go and do the minutes
Mm-hmm.
and put a copy of the tape recording with the minutes
Mhm.
to file it with the town clerk.
Mm-hmm. Well, sounds like we're gonna have to figure out what our budget is.
Right.
So
No,
it's a phenomenal idea. I mean, right now with Zoom and stuff like that, we don't have to worry
Right.
about it, but
But if we
going
have to go back to
forward,
virtual, then
yeah.
we're,
So that's a very good, and at least that's on, it ends up being on us.
right.
And that's something
Then all you have to do is say, this is being audio recorded meeting.
exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Which they already do anyway. I mean, they do it at the planning board. Mike says that every single time. It's not being recorded at all, but he still says it that this public meeting may be recorded by video and audio resources. All right, decisions of the board. We're gonna keep moving on here. Writing and filing of decisions. Again, I don't think there's much
That's
that
gotta
needs to be.
change that. Right.
Change chair to change chair to planning zoning, shall read, planning board staff, all decisions by the board, that's not even touching that, that's still 100%. Signed by the chair, okay. Place B, with all decisions shall be signed and dated by either the chair, vice chair, or such other board member that was designated to run the meeting, hearing, absence of the chair or vice chair. Which is 7, 8. Who did that? Who said that? I feel like I said that. I don't remember. I'm not positive. I feel like I said that.
Why would
All
we
this-
need, why would we need a copy of this decision? We vote on the minutes. And the decision is in the minutes.
Hold on. Designated run the meeting hearing in the absence of the chair. Hold on. I think I wrote this. I don't know why. All decisions shall be signed and dated by either the chair, vice chair, or such other board member that was designated to run the meeting / hearing in the absence of the chair or vice chair. All decisions of the board shall be written and filed with the town clerk not more than. Why did I say all? All decisions shall be signed and dated. Decision may sign. Chair shall write and file all decisions. Okay. And at his discretion and at their discretion may assign the writing and filing of such decision to other member of the board who shall have participated. Okay. I feel like I did this, but I don't remember. It's okay. Let me back up here. The chair shall write and file. Okay. Planning department staff shall write and file all. See again.
We're directing staff that isn't our staff.
Okay, I think that's why I'm having a hard time here.
Unless in her contract, it says that she,
Right, but that's a question that came up in the other section that
Right.
we tabled.
The
for
other
her
way.
participation.
And she did provide us. I think that this was
Yeah,
a
she
couple
did.
emails ago. She did provide us her job description and stuff like that. I ain't worried about her job description. She's doing exactly what her job description entails. I know she is.
Yeah,
You know,
we just have to make sure that if we're assigning duties, it's consistent with that job description.
yeah, exactly. And this is why I think that she noticed we were having a hard time with this, and I think that's why she came up with, instead of, her
what
position,
her
you
job
know,
description was.
planning, but
Right.
planning department staff, planning, writing and filing decisions. All decisions of the board shall be written and filed with the town clerk not more than 14 days after the hearing to which the decision pertains. So that works.
Should that be 14 business days or 14 days? Because we changed the other one to business days.
Yeah, but this is state law we're talking about.
Oh, this is here? Okay.
Yeah, the 14 days, that's state law. That has to be looked at. You would think it would be business days. You would think it would be, but
Right.
there are some situations where it's
But now
not. It's
they consider Sundays a business day anyway. Saturdays and Sundays, everything is open. Christ, the bars are open till 3 o'clock in the morning now.
How would
Yeah,
you
but
know?
for these purposes, it wouldn't be, but under the law, if the period ends on a Sunday, it automatically just gets kicked over to Monday.
Yeah. So I'm not worried about that. I'm definitely not worried about that. So okay. Writing and filing of the decisions. All decisions of the board shall be written and filed with the town clerk not more than 14 days after the hearing to which the decision pertains, or within such lesser time period as from time to time may be required by law. So, be as written, I'm okay with.
Yes.
All right, so I'm okay with that. Be as written, I'm okay with.
Yeah.
What I was doing down here, because again, I'm pretty sure I wrote all this. All decisions shall be signed and dated by either the chair, vice chair, or such other board member that was designated to run the meeting / hearing in the absence of the chair or vice chair. Which again, we've already discussed this. If the chair's not there, If the vice chair is not there, it reverts to the clerk
Right.
and two other board members.
Right.
So
And if
again,
there's no office person, there's no meeting anyway.
there's no meeting anyway. So all decisions shall be signed and dated by either the chair, vice chair, or clerk.
Mhm.
And what that does is if I can't get there, and again, I do everything via email with her. If I can't do it, if the chair can't do it because they are otherwise indisposed, if the vice chair can't do it because they are otherwise indisposed, then it reverts to the clerk. And if the clerk can't do it,
There's no meeting.
no. This is just signing the decision.
Oh,
This is just signing the decision. So all decisions, hold on, all decisions shall be signed and dated by either the chair, vice chair, or clerk, period. If no officer is available, any remaining member that participated in the meeting/hearing
what if we
may
put
sign the decision.
the next senior member?
I don't think that really matters from a seniority situation. It's whoever she had. If none of the officers are there, it's whoever she can get at that point.
Right,
That's it. That's what I'm going for. It's
you're right, yeah.
it does
Yeah.
it does it. I
Yeah.
mean, from a seniority not seniority but from a position standpoint, it should go from chair, vice chair, clerk. But after that, if none of the three officers are there, just get whoever you can. Especially if it's oh my God, I gotta file this by 4 o'clock today, and I can't find the chair, vice chair, or clerk, and it's already 3:30.
Mhm.
You know, and I remember there was one time when was it? Trying to remember what it was. It was like right after Bob. Right after it was like right after I became chair. I had to sign the thing, and I wasn't, and she forgot to do it, and da da da, and she had to do it by 4 o'clock, and this, that, the other thing. She met me on one of my job sites. She literally met me on one of my job sites. I came out of the woods, covered in tree crap to sign the decision, so she can then take it back to. This was in Weymouth too. I remember this. This was in Weymouth. This was on Commercial Street. Um, yeah. So yeah. So I would say again, just knowing what I've had to go through myself, I would say there's all decisions shall be signed and dated by either the chair, vice chair, uh, either the chair, vice chair, clerk, or clerk. And then second sentence, in the absence of in the absence of the three in the absence of the three officers, any remaining board member that participated in the hearing/meeting
Mhm.
shall sign the decisions, shall sign and date the decisions.
And if there was an alternate member, they could sign it.
Yeah, so along those lines, if we had a designated designated alternate.
Mhm.
Everybody cool? Everybody
Mhm.
happy? Yes? Okay. That gets rid of that. Contents and distribution of oh Jesus. Nothing changed in the first one. All copies of the planning board. Okay. In addition to the town clerk, the following parties shall receive copies of all decisions. The planning board, the zoning enforcement officer, all full and associate members, stenographer we don't have.
So she's saying she wants to give all the members a copy of the decision?
You have to. Just like you have to just like technically you have to notify abutting towns. of the application. Technically, you're supposed to. If applicable, okay.
But this is talking about this decision.
Yeah, this is specifically just the decision. So planning board,
We've never,
zoning board, yeah, planning board, zoning enforcement officer, all the members, basically all of us. I don't know what this if applicable. Oh, to the end of the board after the word, okay. And the stenographer of the board if applicable. Well, we're not gonna at this point. Oh yeah, no, that's fine because we're not taking out the stenographer at this point. So yeah, and the stenographer to the board if applicable. It reads okay. I don't mind that. I don't remember who put it in there, but I don't mind it.
and then Yolanda has the,
Place all full and associate members of the board with. Replace all full and associate members of the board with.
Copies of decisions.
Zoning enforcement with copies of the decision to be filed with the town clerk and posted on the town's website.
Yeah, so I'm just send it to us now.
yeah.
Yeah.
As we all recall, getting copies every week, every meeting
Yeah.
that we've had with every decision we've made.
That's fine.
That makes sense to me.
Yep.
Because we all don't want copies.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Copies of the decisions to be filed. And I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to word this all together in my head to make sure it all works. If applicable, that's fine. Replace all full and associate board members of the board, with planning board, the zoning enforcement okay.
Or else we could just strike all full and associate members of the board.
That's
Because
it,
if it's
that's right.
already posted to the website and filed in the town,
Yeah.
we can just strike it out.
And
Well,
in
it's not. It's filed with the town, but it's not posted on the website. I don't know if
So
you
we
guys
could
know
just-
this.
So we could
But
just
num-
strike all full and associate members of the board, but says it'll be posted on the website.
Again, we can't do that.
What can't we do?
Who are you going to tell who are you going to require to post it on the website?
Oh, all right. Well, we can't tell them to do that. So we
See, this
can't add
is,
that.
and again, it's such a weird situation. So
But we-
it's
We could still
we-
strike all full and alternate members of the board because we can go to the town and read it.
yeah. Has she been sending it to you guys? I don't even know if she sends the decisions to you guys.
No,
No,
Yeah, so I didn't think so. You guys never see any of the decisions?
Nope.
no. The only time we get decisions is when we're given old decisions for helping us structure new decisions, especially on
Well,
40Bs.
Son of a gun. I thought you guys were seeing them.
Nope.
No,
Oh, I have a problem with that.
we don't.
We don't need any more paperwork.
It's no, I don't want you. I don't want you to have to. I don't want.
Yeah.
I don't want paper. I don't. No, nobody wants paper. I don't
Yeah.
want paper. But I do think that at least once the decision is filed,
Email.
you guys should be at least emailed and said, "Hey, just so you know, here's the filed decision."
Yeah.
I think you guys. I think you guys should at least have the opportunity to see the actual decisions.
Yeah. I mean, if they want to email it, that's great. But
But no,
We weren't
paper,
missing it.
no, paper,
We
I'm
weren't
not,
missing it.
no. So, shall receive, okay. It says shall receive copies. It doesn't say paper
What?
copies.
Why don't we
Right.
just say
Copies
the
can be,
decisions
don't make
will
it,
be emailed?
that, can't say that.
Fine. We're telling them
Can't
what to
say
do.
that. Can't say that. All this. Look at what's look at how it's being.
Right.
Look at how it's said. In addition to the town clerk, the following parties. It says shall receive copies of all decisions. All right. It's still kind of saying that we're all supposed to get them. It's not saying who, and it's not saying in what form these copies are, whether it's email or paper. It's just saying that the following parties shall receive copies of all the decisions. I think we're good there. I think, I
Let's
think
just
we're,
take all that out then. Well, not
We
put it in,
can.
replacing all full. Put
yeah,
all
we
full in
can,
the
but
front.
I'll be honest with you, Bob, I'll be honest with you. I don't like the fact, I thought you guys got them. I thought she emailed you guys copies of the final signed decisions. And she wasn't emailing me because I signed them, edited them. She forwarded me the draft. I would edit if necessary, sign, get it back to her, and then she files. I honestly thought you guys got copies of it. Whether you were looking at them or not, I didn't know. I've never asked. So I don't like the fact that you guys aren't getting copies. Somehow, some way, aren't at least given the ability to know that they're there, know that it's been filed, know that you have the opportunity to read it. You know what I mean? It's at least that way you can, it's if you know that it's been filed, at least you can turn around and go, "Oh, well, yeah, it's definitely been filed. Are you sure?" "Well, yeah, I am. Here, see?" If it ever came down to it, which it probably never will, but and it's just I don't know why. I feel kind of weird. You guys
I
aren't
mean,
seeing it.
if it went to court, we could get a copy of it and read it before court.
Oh, of course you could. Of course you could. I felt weird. I feel weird about you guys not getting it, but it is what it is. If y'all don't think it's necessary to put in here, we'll take B completely directly out of it. With respect to each individual decision, the following shall have copies mailed to them. First class postage prepaid. The petitioners, the owners of the
We still
property.
have to have something that she files it with the town clerk and the planning and zoning enforcement, right?
Hold on. All decisions shall contain the following information. Blah, blah, blah. In addition to the following parties shall receive copies. It's not that's state law. Doesn't have to be in there. This is just contents and distributions. I'm trying to take I'm trying to take lead from
okay.
Steve here,
Yep.
and it says specifically contents and distribution of decisions. So A, leave it as is. B, take out anything that says full and associate members and the stenographer. Just, just put the planning board and the zoning enforcement officer.
Period.
Done. Leave it as is.
Yep.
With respect to each individual decision, the following shall have copies mailed to them, first class postage prepaid. The petitioners, the owners of the property on which the hearing is held, counsel for any attorney, all the persons or other entities named on the list of parties in interest as certified by the board of, so leave C as is, just change it to a B. Yeah, leave C as is. This article of the rules of procedure was adopted and voted on. Not worried about that. We're going to deal with that later. Chapter 774 hearings. I know that. So we know we're there. All of that got stricken. All of everything there got stricken. We're just replacing that with all our 40B regs.
Yeah, it just says,
We're replacing it with what 40B regs?
Our current 40B regs, because if you look through the Bridgewater, Hingham, and Hanson,
Yeah.
they reference their 40B regs.
Well, and that's just the state 40B statute and regulations, right? Nothing.
No, we have our own. We have our own that makes it that much, that breaks it down that much more.
we add it to the states.
Yeah.
Well, but that anything we add can't be inconsistent with anything written in statute or regulation.
Only if for some reason we tried to make it less stringent than the state.
No.
And the attorney general wouldn't approve that.
It was voted for a town meeting after town council reviewed it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And
So
then
again, chapter 74 hearings proceed. That's again article in comprehensive permit rules 40Bs. See town of Rockland common permit. Blah, blah, blah. I think that's it. I think that takes it.
Yeah.
That takes it. I think.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Hey, I got a quick question.
What we got?
Quick question. Okay, so remember when we got our meetings cut off because we ran too late?
Yep.
Was that because it was a clock time or a length of meeting time that we
That was
exceeded?
That was because Zoom automatically shuts meetings off at 11:45. I think it's what it was.
Okay, so it was based on the clock, not because we were, say, three 3 hours and 15 minutes. It was quarter of 12. That was the cutoff. It
That
wasn't
was
the length of meeting.
yeah,
Okay, just want to
that
make
was
sure.
that was the absolute cutoff, but you can't from what came out later, or at least this is what I was told.
Yeah,
A public meeting / public hearing
yeah,
can't go into the next day.
yeah. Okay, that makes sense too.
So anything past midnight where it's not, you can't do that.
Gotcha. All
So
right, good.
that's why the Zoom meeting was doing that. So that came out again, silver lining. You
Yeah,
know, I never heard that before. So
yeah,
we learned,
yeah.
we learned something.
Good. I'm only concerned because we started our like we could have started our meeting at 6:30, and if it was a
Mhm.
time limit, not a clock limit, we would have been at risk of going beyond 3.25 hours.
Oh yeah.
We're safe now. But that was the only reason why I asked, because I was afraid
Yeah.
it was the length of meeting, not the time. But that makes sense. I just want to make sure.
We could have, and honestly, we could start our meetings at 12 in the afternoon.
Right.
Doesn't
Yeah. And we
matter.
can go and we can go to quarter of 12 and yeah. Okay. Good.
But
Good.
that also brings up something that isn't in here that maybe we should put in here. That all public hearings, all public meetings / hearings of the zoning board of appeals.
Will end no later than 10:30.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. But
Unless otherwise determined by vote of the board.
there,
Like
I like that.
Yeah, good.
I like that.
Yes.
All right, Arlana, I hope you hear that 100%. She should. All right, we actually made it all the way through this goddamn thing. So let me just run back through the top here.
We gotta get a couple of questions from Alonda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Arlana and Bob. I'm running through the top here real quick, just so we all remember what I'm waiting for from Bob. Article 1, Section 2, rules established by the board may be amended. A quorum. I need a definition from Bob. We were going to talk to Bob about that. Definition of hearing, both meeting and hearing. I asked Bob to come up with that. Meeting board as soon as the recommended update by all board members. And again, I'm just going to keep on going down. If everybody were to go to Article 2, organization, Section 2D.
2B.
2D is in dog.
Okay.
Mhm.
The chair is authorized to employ a stenographer and may such okay, change stenographer. Okay. So this is all where we were talking about Arlana. And you know, meeting minutes fall under the job description of the salary, the writing, placing a public hearing. So again, this is one of those. So Article 2, Section 2, starting at D through F. This is all we got to talk to Arlana, and we got to see how that's all going to go, because we all agree that we can't tell.
Could be a union thing.
Yeah, we can't tell a salaried employee what to do. So Arlana's we need some suggestion there, potentially from her, potentially from Doug, potentially from human resources. La la la. So that was 2G's. We've got that. 2H. Between sections 2 and 3, a new section addressing the duties of the vice chair should be added. I don't remember who said that, but it makes sense because there is nothing in there that talks about what the vice chair is supposed to do. So I don't see where we had anything in there talking about what the vice chair did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to
What
Hingham.
about?
Well, wait a minute. The section before that, H, says the chair or vice chair may, with the consent of the board, designate a member or associate member of the board to act in the board's name.
Yeah. So you lost me.
But that's outside the regular duties.
Section 3 on page 3. H
Section.
under H.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's investigations.
Yeah,
That's-
that's it. That's not well, I'm looking at I've already gone beyond that. I'm looking at something about I don't remember who said this, but it makes sense between sections 2 and 3. A section addressing the duties of the vice chair should be added. That's why I wanted to I was pretty sure
Oh,
here we
section
go.
C is what I think is answering your question about the vice chair.
Section C.
Section 2C. I think that's answering what we're talking about for the vice chair. I think. If the chair is
Chair.
absent or unable to serve.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
it
think
looks
that
like we
handles it.
mostly all agreed on that because it's in red.
Yeah, but that's
That
only
says the
one.
secretary. It should be.
Oh, but the
chair.
red says, the red is the change.
Yeah, if the chair is absent and but that's only one thing. That's only one thing that the vice chair does. There are when it looks at the chair shall have charge, da da da. Chair shall have charge of the content.
So what does the
Henry,
vice chair do outside the meetings?
that's what we had. That's the point.
I mean, do they actually have, does a vice chair have powers and responsibilities while the chair is fully available to do their own duties?
Not that it's written, not that it's written, but
Okay.
I'm looking at Hingham and it says the vice chairman shall vote and be recorded on all matters coming before the board. The vice chairman shall have such powers and be charged with such duties as the chairman shall designate, and shall act as chairman when the latter is absent or otherwise unable to perform his duties. It's something, it's definitely something. Let me see what else we got in here. So that was Hingham, East Bridgewater. This is old stuff. Powers and duties of the officer. Okay. The vice chair, this is East Bridgewater. The vice chairman shall act as chairman in the event of the absence or other inability of the chairman to sit. That's it. And then the last one she supplied us, which I know she's going to be listening to this. Thank you, Orlana, for supplying the stuff. You didn't have to do that. That's awesome. Hanson Board of Appeals Rules and Regulations Guide for Filing. Vice chairperson. The vice chairperson shall act as chairperson in case the chairperson is absent, disabled, or otherwise unable to perform his/her duties. So apparently the vice chairman doesn't do anything.
Well,
Just didn't look pretty.
except for when the chairman's not present.
Exactly. So when the chairman's not present, vice chairman does everything. So
The vice chair is just eye candy.
is that why Bob Senior? Is that why you got a haircut?
What?
Your eye candy?
You're gonna be absent?
So again, somewhat I don't remember who put it in there. Looking for something to address to addressing the duties of the vice chair should be added. Again, we can look at Hingham. We can look at of the three, they're basically all saying that they fill in for the chair when the chair is unavailable.
And then Hingham has that added thing about whatever.
Yeah, the vice chairman shall vote and be recorded on all. The vice chairman shall vote and be recorded on all matters coming before the board, unless he has to recuse himself.
Yeah, I mean, that's implicit though, as being a
Is
member
it?
of the board. We don't have to include that.
Yeah, I don't think that's why I was kind of going with, I don't think that needs to be there.
What
From
about
So I-
there,
So I think the language, if the
2G?
chair, if the chair is absent or unable to serve at a meeting, the vice chair shall serve as chair pro tem. I think that's all you need.
so that's, I kind of hear that, and I know where Bob Senior's, where he's going. What did you say? D?
G, yeah.
Chair is authorized to employ,
Yeah, I say a second.
oh, B, you said?
G, I'm sorry.
G. The chair and vice chair and or is authorized to approve bills. So secretary would, chair, vice chair, and clerk are authorized to approve bills properly chargeable to the board and submit same to the town for payment. I mean,
There is stuff in here that the duties of the chairman, the vice chair, if you're,
it's a co-duty, or there's nothing in there. Because again, it's the when it comes to the vice chair steps in for it's just this again, it's implicit, I think. If the vice chair will step in when the chair is not there. Now, if the chair and the vice chair aren't there, then the clerk steps in.
Right.
So does that mean we have to have
A specific- the specific duties of the chair, the vice
yeah,
chair?
the specific duties of the vice chair? I mean, it's
I
No,
don't-
I think where
No.
they're kind of marbled throughout, because it would look kind of awkward to say in whatever section it is.
Mhm.
C, that the vice chair can sign bills, when nothing else in that section talks about signing bills.
Yeah.
But then you go down to G, where it says who can do the signing
Right.
of bills.
Right. So again, I see a section 2, powers and duties, chair powers and duties. Then you could do a section 3 just to say vice chair powers and duties. Then you could do a section 4, clerk powers and duties. And do the same thing for the clerk powers and duties that talks about if the chair if the vice chair is unable to sit in for the chair, the clerk shall have all powers of the chairman during that hearing or whatever it is.
Well, it already says that.
Where does it say that?
If both the chair and the vice chair are absent and unable to serve, the clerk shall serve as chair pro tem.
Where is
Right.
that?
That's in C.
Where is it in C? Well, then we don't have to say anything about the clerk. So section 3, when it comes to secretary powers and duties, again, I don't know who put this in there, but reconsider this section. I think that we need to reconsider this section. Because again, this is all designated township see again, subject to the direction of the board and the chair, designated town staff shall conduct all of the clerical work of the board, including all correspondence of the board, sending all the I just don't feel right. Something just doesn't feel right there.
Well, again, we have to determine whether that's consistent with Alana's job description, her
Yeah.
other duties, and her compensation.
All right.
But until that question is answered, we can't address this.
We can't talk about it. No, I dig it. I dig it. So,
I
okay,
mean,
so
we
I'm
can,
gonna
we
write
can
all that
talk about
down.
it, we can't resolve it.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, designated town
We're gonna
staff.
do her,
So everything, it's almost like everything that she's got highlight, yeah, anything highlighted in yellow has not been edited and will be discussed again, which is exactly what we're doing. And anything so far, anything in yellow that I've seen thus far, since we started over from the top again, it's still everything that we need to figure out how to word it because the secretary is no longer a member of the board. So that's still going with that. The associate members, we had A taken care of. B, we didn't touch. Yeah, C, unless otherwise required by, rule, bylaw, or statute, any action by this board shall be decided by a majority vote of all members present and voting on such action. Note, this last item was missing from the last version. My mistake. Please review and confirm. Unless otherwise required by rule, bylaw, or statute, any action by this board shall be decided by a majority vote of all members present and voting on such action. Now, I've been looking this up further. If it's a 3-member board, it has to be unanimous. Always has to be unanimous.
Mhm.
If
Well,
it's
no, wait a minute, to do what?
to approve,
Approve what?
to approve whatever's before us.
Well, if you're talking about something subject to a public hearing, yeah. If
Yes.
you're talking about, say, approving the minutes of a prior meeting, no.
I hear where you're going.
And that's where the unless otherwise required by rule of law.
I got you. That's perfect. I misunderstood. No, I'm right. I'm on top of it. Thank you, Bob.
So-
That's
What does it take to approve minutes of a meeting?
Majority vote of those present and voting.
So it'd only take 2.
Yep.
If there's a 3
two if
member.
it's a 3-member board. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's just a okay. I was going some other place. It doesn't. So as it stands, section 4, C, take the highlighting off and just leave it as written. Any person designing a hearing before the board shall petition. Okay, form of petition. Person designing a hearing before the board shall petition the board for a public hearing. Such petition shall be on the form prescribed by the board, obtainable from the town clerk or from the town of Rockland. Suggestion: any person designing a hearing before the board shall petition the board for a public hearing. Such petition shall be on the form prescribed by the board, obtainable from the town clerk, building department, planning, zoning department, or the Rockland Zoning Board of Appeals website. Does everybody know where I am? Article 3, petitions and notifications for
Yep.
hearing.
A,
I like what she just. I like what she has there.
That's the purple part.
Yeah, I like her
Yeah.
suggestion. I would say go with that.
I agree.
Yes.
So that's that. We struck out B, we struck out C. We did each application. Okay, so that's the site plan content rule regulations that I put together. That hold on. I'm trying to remember where I saw this. One of the 3 that she provided, manner of filing, standings are due, submission requirements, request findings, deed is due.
oh, really quick. I
Yeah.
wanted to add about the petition. A long time ago, we talked about an applicant who was trying to get a 2-family put on a single-family property. And I forget what you call that card, but there's a card you can get that tells you what the property is.
The field card.
Field card. And I was at the time I had asked if we'd be able to make that part of the application process to require them to obtain a copy of the field card in certain circumstances. That way, when they're applying for something like putting a 2-family on a single-family home, they already know it's a single-family home, and they walk in the door with that piece of paper in front of them and present it to the board that it is not a not a multifamily site, not it's a single-family whatever.
I'm pretty sure that's required in the application. I'm pretty sure that's already required.
It is okay because
Yeah.
all right, good, because at the time I don't think we didn't get one. Maybe it's like in the office, but we weren't given it with the materials for the meeting.
All right, hold on. This is in, I swear to God, this was in Hingham and zoning administrator, meetings of the board, approved forms, approved forms incorporated, all forms are incorporated until such time probably the board shall consider. Copies of items listed 1 through 8. Need to for which whatever it does, submission requirements of the public hearing will discuss the basis of. Damn it, where is it? One of these talked about a specific, it was an addendum. It was the site plan rules and regulations, addendum 1 or exhibit 1 or something like that. That was a separate, it was a separate document. Part of the first approved as to form. Ooh. Original copies that abutters list request to do property no filing period. Plans to accompany applicant. All I know is going to 5 copies of the plans and the names. Where? Okay, hold on. It's not in. It's. I know where it is. It's in the. I might lag out here for a second. I'm checking my email. There it is. Hingham rules and regs. Hingham ZBA app. All right. This is something that's some water regulations. Come on. Where the heck was it? It was a specific PDF form. Digital copy of all email to per zone rules and regulations. Link. It was a specific. See, again, it brings you to that. It's not it. One of them. Again, it just turned around and said that the rules and regs for site plan contents. It was a separate page. It was a separate document. It was just a separate document. So in the end, get rid of that so I don't lag out. In the end, we're at that section again, with the rules and regs. You know, it should be they need to know that it exists. So it still comes down to, just, each application and petition to the board shall be accompanied by, numbers of copies. It's already in the application when it comes to numbers of copies. So each application and petition to the board shall be accompanied by, then it comes down. 1, number of copies, like the whole deal with the size, copy size and stuff like that. That's where it's in the application. So it probably should be copied from that. That's number 1. And then after that, site plan contents, at least in ours, site plan contents shall include all information from the exhibit 1 site plan contents or something like that, just to keep it simple in here, as opposed to, writing, just incorporating the 2 pages of stuff that I put together. And then each application covered by the principal accessory building. Each application and petition to the board shall be accompanied by a site plan that adheres to the site plan requirements. Independent. Yeah, it's right there. We already said that. Okay, sorry guys, we already said it. So that should, the accompanied by yeah. So that's already there. Okay, this is where I was going, I think. Arlana's talking about the building commissioner determines whether an applicant will require a site plan with their zoning application. He indicates this information on his referral letter. If building commissioner requires a site plan, Appendix A can be given to the applicant as an extra sheet in addition to the application. If a site plan is not required by the zoning, it wouldn't be necessary to give Appendix A to the applicant. Here's the problem with that. The application specifically states that if you're looking for a variance, you have to give us a site plan. If you're looking for a special permit, you have to give us a site plan. If you're looking to overturn the determination of the zoning enforcement officer, you have to give us a site plan. If you're going for a class 2 automobiles license, you have to give us a site plan. On our application, it says that an applicant has to give us a site plan every single time. Yes, the zoning enforcement officer can determine if a site plan is required, but that's only if it's going for site plan review. We can also require site plans for our application, for our purposes. So that's what she was saying in here. Because there are other things. Watch this. There are other things that the zoning enforcement officer isn't even going to see. All right, because typically the zoning enforcement officer is only going to issue one of these the referral letters. He's only going to issue a referral letter if he's given an application for a building permit, and he looks it over and realizes, oh, you're going to need relief. He doesn't always get an application for a building, he doesn't always get an application for a building permit. When it comes to a form, when it comes to an A&R plan, all right, perfect example. What was that A&R plan with the 2 girls and the garage was too close, and we gave them the variance for the garage, for the garage distance, and there was something else with the driveway. Well, Tom would have never seen that because at the time it wouldn't have there was no building permit being sought. So Tom had no idea on any of this. This was something that went to the planning board first. Planning board sends me the plan. I review the plan for anything zoning, just like they do with site plan review and subdivisions and this, that, the other thing. They send out the Form Ks. Well, with the A&R plans, she's been sending them to me so I can review it. That's when I picked up on, well, you're going to need a variance for this and you're going to need a variance for that. So then they sign that, they fill out the variance, the application. Tom never even knew about it. He didn't know about it until I actually told him about it. Because he'd never even see it. So again, you're applying for a variance, you need a site plan. This is where again, it's inner office stuff. We as the zoning board can require our own plans. We don't need to worry about what Tom is saying, this, that, and the other thing.
Then why don't we just take that section out?
I think that yeah, that doesn't need to be in there. I do like that each of the red that we've got in there, each application and petition to the board shall be accompanied by a site plan that adheres to the site plan requirements contained in Appendix A, site plan requirements. That's
I'm talking about
definitely
I'm talking about the purple part.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Purple's out.
And that brings
And
us
that-
back to where we started, right?
Exactly. So I got 9:30 on the clock. I've come up with a couple of other things that I want to forward to Bob, so I'm gonna circle back and I'm gonna email him again, and I'm gonna say, hey Bob, I'm still looking for opinions on this, and this, but we also came up with this, and this. Arlana looks like she needs to take a few things and just update them with things that we talked about. Again, when it comes to her position and how she feels on some of these things, again, her opinion matters. The town administrator, his opinion is going to matter. Human resources, they're going to matter. Again, these are things that nobody cared about back in the day. So unfortunately, we have to deal with this.
Excuse me.
And if we have to take some lead, and I'll try and set up some time with Bob on this. If we have to take some lead from a couple of other municipalities when it comes to how they start talking about this, I'll compile a few things and I'll email them out to you guys just to say, look, this is how this town's doing, this is how this town's doing, this is how this town's doing. And then when we come back together, we'll figure it out from there.
Sounds good.
Okay, so I have no idea when the next meeting is supposed to be. I have no clue what's going on here. I say,
We have a meeting the 21st of
yep,
July
yep.
at 6:30, at 6
Yep.
o'clock, and then one at 7:30.
What's 6 o'clock?
That's
Meeting in the town hall.
That's the meeting with town council and
Oh, that. Okay, all right.
Sensitivity training.
Okay, so we have that, and then there's a meeting directly after that.
The 4th of August and the 18th. We have,
We have a
So-
meeting
so-
on the 4th of August.
yes, we do.
Actually, in it. Okay, so that we have one on the 21st. I know that. Then we have something on the 4th.
Yeah.
I
Our
know
land
that.
is
The 4th is
our
at
land-
7:30, right?
Yeah, our land is already available, aware that I'm not around on the 4th.
Okay.
And we have one the.
Wait. What's happening on the 4th?
We have a meeting.
Apparently there's a meeting.
And what meeting is this? Are you saying the
The-
sensitivity training thing?
no, that's the
No, that's
21st.
next week
Okay.
on 6 o'clock.
Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, a week from tonight.
At 6
And-
o'clock in the town hall.
In the town hall. That's sensitivity training?
Okay.
Uh, It's called ZBA training session.
Okay. So this is the 21st. All right.
Yes,
So the 21st. Okay. Do we have something on the 4th?
I don't know.
Okay.
We have a
So-
meeting scheduled, but
She does that. She does that on purpose. She purposely does that just to have a calendar, just to hold the
Right.
calendar. All right, and that's more for us because we're all on Zoom. That's it. So the 4th, I'm not worried about the 4th.
we have the 18th too.
I'm not worried about the 18th. Supposedly we have one on. I'm not going to be around on the 1st.
September 1st and 15th.
Yeah, I'm not. I say if we're extending in this way out, let's try and get together. How's what 7:30 on the 7:30 on the 15th?
15th of what? September?
15th of September, specifically for this, specifically for the rules.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay, I'll make a
Yeah.
motion to continue this discussion for the rules and procedures till September 15th. Do we want to do 7:30 or 7?
No, 7:30, please. That's
7:30?
yeah, that screwed it.
September
Unfortunately, the
15th.
6:30 screwed us all up. So I'm okay with 7:30 because by that time we should have answers to everything that we need answers to. She'll have everything typed up and gotten to us prior. So yeah, so I've got a motion for 7:30 on September 15th to only discuss rules and regulations. I got a
Right.
hand raised.
Second.
Second, I got a motion and a second. Roll call, Mr. Baker Senior.
Yes,
Myself is a yes. Who's next? Mr. Tanzi,
Yes.
Mr. Galley,
Yes.
Mr. Baker Jr.
Yes.
All right, so Arlana now knows when we've pushed this out too, so that takes care of that. I'm going to ask you guys again, look in your emails and run over the rules and procedures from East Bridgewater, Hanson, and Hingham, just so you have a good idea of what they're doing. Because it feels like in a lot of these sections, they've limited a lot of it. I mean, we go into it. our rules and regulations, when we just first, the initial part, the ones that we're updating, that went into it feels like it went into way more detail than any of these other towns. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that other towns are doing things differently. So do everybody a favor and go into the rules and regulations that she forwarded to us, Hanson, East Bridgewater, and Hingham. Get a feel for what they're doing, and then maybe that'll change. That may change everything that we were even thinking about. So
Okay.
that's it.
Move to adjourn.
Motion to
Second.
adjourn. I got a second
Second.
on Mr. Galley. Hold on. Uh-oh.
I have a quick question.
I've got a question. What do you got?
That meeting at 6 o'clock next Tuesday,
Yes.
is that a posted meeting?
It's not a
Gonna
meeting,
be there?
like, not a public meeting.
If we're all in the room together, it's a meeting.
It's a
No, it's
meeting.
not. No, it's not.
It's not a zoning board meeting for an
No,
applicant or nothing.
I've had to deal with this before. We did training. We did municipal board training in the lecture hall. We've also done it in the auditorium where all boards, commissions, committees, and a couple of other municipal employees, we all showed up. There's 30, 40, 50 different, 50 different board members and
posted,
stuff like that.
Rob. It was
No,
posted.
Rob, the only reason I raised the question is at one point we were invited to attend, not participate in, but to attend. It was either a meeting of
Right.
the planning board or the conservation commission. And it was determined that we had to call a joint meeting because a quorum of this board was going to be there.
because we were attending another
Public hearing.
public hearing. This is not a public hearing. This is considered training. I've been over this with Bob Galvin. It's considered public, it's considered municipal training. It's not considered a public hearing. I've been over this with him before. So this is us just getting together in a room doing training. That's it. The public.
And I'm assuming that the board meeting that follows that is also at town hall.
Let me look at the. I may blip out here. Hold on. Looking at what date is this?
21st.
21st.
It's not.
No,
It's not advertised. So
She
Yeah, it's
hasn't
not
posted it yet?
it's not on the website.
Well, she can post it tomorrow.
Not if she needs
Tomorrow,
2
Thursday.
weeks. What's on? Do we
No,
know what's the? Do we
48
know what's?
hours to post a meeting.
Not if it's a variance. Not if it's a special permit. Not if it's a hearing. Hearing, you need 2 weeks.
To be advertised,
It has to be advertised. But
but to
It's-
post a public meeting, it's only 48 hours, I thought.
Yeah, she always posts the agenda 48 hours. She always posts it's more than 48 hours. She posts it on Friday for the following Tuesday.
Yeah, but the town hall's closed on Fridays now.
wait a second.
Would have to be Thursday,
It's Thursday, yeah.
which is
So
the day
again, we're
after tomorrow.
talking July. Hold on. Let me just get back to July. Okay. Is that? I have no
Mayor.
idea what this is on. I have no idea. She's got it set for 7:30, but she's got nothing in the I don't think there is one. She would have given us information on this already. I feel like if this was a hearing, she would have given us information on this. So whatever it is, it's going to end up being a meeting. It has to be.
Well, whatever it is, where is it going, in what format is it going to take place?
It says Zoom, but that doesn't make sense.
And when is the training supposed to run? 6 to 7:30?
I've got
6 to 7.
6 to
Right.
7:30.
Okay, so we all have to jump in our cars, get back to our houses in like 2 minutes for the,
No, we all pull out our phones, sit in that room that we're in, and we do it on the phone.
not a chance.
Nope. Because if there's a petitioner, how are they gonna know?
Yeah, I know. I'll ask her tomorrow. I'll ask her tomorrow. I honestly, I don't think there's a meeting. I don't think there's a public meeting, public hearing after, because we would already know this.
Right.
We would already know, and it's on the third Tuesday. It's on the third Tuesday. It's on our off Tuesday. You know, it's our off day.
Mm.
So I don't think that I'm thinking that we don't have one.
I think it was just preset in the calendar for now.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. So I'll talk to her tomorrow. I'll make sure I know what's going on. I'll make sure everybody else knows what's going on tomorrow, and that'll take care of that. So now go back to I've got a motion. I've got a second, and this is motion to adjourn, I believe. So
It
we got
is.
a motion and a second. Who made the second? I think it was Mr. Galley. All right. So I got a motion. I got a second. Any more discussion?
No,
Nope.
Roll call, Mr. Baker Senior.
Yes.
Myself is a yes. Mr. Tansey.
yes.
Mr. Galley.
Yes.
Mr. Baker Jr.
Yes.